Hi everyone, I'm Gaming Rubik's Liam on Gaming Vlogs Liam. This is gonna be a different kind of video. You know I've reviewed a few movies on this channel. Um, so what I'm gonna do in this video today is I'm going to make a tier list of every single DreamWorks animation film. And no, Joseph King of Dreams is not on this list. And if you're looking for it, go to a different video. Okay. I have a lot to say about DreamWorks. They have made a bunch of animated movies, and I enjoy quite a bunch, and a lot of them I don't enjoy. Um, Compared to Pixar, where like their outputs are like a lot better. But but don't worry, there's a bunch of movies to enjoy on this list. So let's get started. All right, Ants. Eh, it's kind of I'd probably put it at meh. So oh, that's what I forgot to say. So Masterpiece are the movies that I think are all-time classics. Great are movies that are also all-time classics but aren't really masterpieces. Good are not really the greatest stuff ever. They're just good and enjoyable. Okay is not really enjoyable for me, but okay at the same time. Meh are movies that I just say, yeah, it's not my cup of tea. And terrible are movies that I vitriolically hate. Um, so Ants will have to go to meh. This movie, the animation is completely dated. It came out around the same time as A Bug's Life from Pixar. Um, it's kind of an odd start for the studio. I mean, it's okay, but just not up there on like say like Toy Story as like the start for a studio. Um, and it's probably kind of doing that for luck for Skydance. Um, Basically the humor was like a hit or miss for me. I didn't connect with the characters very well. I feel like the story is generic a bit, like somebody who feels like that he's bored of his like job or something and doesn't really enjoy it and then meets this girl. It's just not a movie for me. Oh, The Prince of Egypt. I'm gonna get so much hate for this. The Prince of Egypt will have to go to good. Um, this movie did not like work very well for me. I do think it is a better movie than Ants, and I think this movie should have been the start for the studio, which was originally supposed to be. Um, the Prince of Egypt, um, I do like it, but I don't relate to it because I'm not like a Christian who goes to church or any of that. I'm not religious. Um, and yeah, I'm not prepared to say any of this at all. I think it's the most mature movie on the list right here because I do like how it touches on like say like say slavery or something. I don't know. I like the messages it portrays. I don't know how to describe them here. I like how it starts out with this mature opening of like these Egyptians and a mother trying to save her baby. Um, I like that, but then I feel like the story is not really going anywhere after like Moses leaves like Egypt. I mean, he doesn't leave Egypt. He just goes out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, a good solid movie, just not really up there for me. Huh. The Road to El Dorado. That'll go here. The Road to El Dorado was okay. The humor was a bit hit or miss for me. Um, and the story, basically, the road to El Dorado, um, they take the road for like about 10 minutes of the movie, and then you're just left with a movie with two gay people over at over at El Dorado. Um, I mean, some of it was funny and some of it wasn't. I didn't really connect with these characters. I like the Elton John music. I love Elton John. I loved his music in The Lion King, one of my all-time favorite animated movies. I really think this stuff is like his stuff in this movie is strong. Um, but is it as good as The Lion King? No, but it's got its own charm to it, and I can see why people loved it so much. I can see why it's got a cult following and so much more. And I mean, it came out around the same time as The Emperor's New Groove, a movie that I think is a lot better and a lot more funnier. But but yeah, The Road to El Dorado is okay. Oh, Chicken Run. Um, this will go here. Um, Chicken Run, I think, is great or good. Sorry, I meant to say I actually I'll put it at great, or no, I'll put it at good. The animation, stop motion animation, is is great, but in today's world, it's underappreciated to me. I don't think people give Aardman like enough credit for their stop motion, and like stop motion takes a lot of time and effort. Um, but now the story about chickens trying to escape a it's basically a prison escape. So like with Toy Story 3 where the toys are escaping Sunnyside Daycare. These chickens are escaping from being eaten alive and or no, sorry. I'm sorry. That was a little too chicken. that was a that was intentional. Sorry. Like they're trying to escape from like um being those pieces of chicken that we eat. Um those that's basically where this film takes place. And I like how it touches on the dark themes of that, and um I don't like how we had to spend so much time with like exercising so that the chickens can like start flying. I think that was a waste of time. And I think it was very funny, and I think some of the humor really worked for me. Um I mean, I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think it's just good. Shrek. That's going up here. This was an easy choice. Shrek is an all-time classic. Shrek is just the movie you're looking for if you want to laugh or if you want to have like some emotional beats within yourself. It is wonderful, and it's no wonder why this movie won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. But did it deserve it? Well, to me, I think I think based on what I've said on like Instagram or Snapchat, I think we all know what movie really should have won. I prefer Monsters Inc. personally. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies. Oop, spoilers for another video that might come on this channel soon. Um, but but anyway, Shrek is a charming animated movie. It is great. It's awesome. Go check out Shrek if you haven't already. The story about an ogre marrying a a princess, it's great. Like it's basically a concept of like an unlikely duo, and the actors' deliveries, they're great. Mike Myers as Shrek, classic. Eddie Murphy as Donkey, comedy to my ears. Wanting to make waffles in the morning. And Lord Farquaad, he's a good enough villain. Um, but let's move on because I don't want to make any spoilers. Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. This will go into the great category. Um, I really enjoy this movie. I like how the horses like. I like how silent this film is. I mean, my only problems with the film is like the pop music and Matt Damon's voice narrating the story. Um, it's kind of like this movie is basically the DreamWorks equivalent of Bambi and Wally, um, where it's like just a silent film, um, and um, not much else. I mean, the story about a horse, um, without speaking is it's great. That's why I would put Spirit at great. Um, if if they just didn't have Matt Damon's voice in it, it would be a masterpiece. But yeah, Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. This will go here. I do not care about this movie. I don't know why DreamWorks decided to like do this. This is I mean, I don't think it's like the worst animated film of all time. I think it's like terrible. It's just not the story was a bit confusing. Like the Sinbad had to like go over to these like books of unexplained powers. I did not really understand any of that, and Sinbad literally got on my nerves. He was literally like one of the most annoying DreamWorks characters ever. Um, like I did not connect with it, and sometimes I feel like that this movie is too similar to another movie that I literally cannot figure out. Like I cannot remember the movie that I think it was trying to copy or something. I don't know. I don't know. DreamWorks they don't tend to like copy other movies. I mean, they do. Don't worry, because Ants is on this list. All right, Shrek 2. This is going up here. Shrek is like one of the greatest franchises of all time. They're them parodying like fairy tales and Disney movies is absolutely funny. I don't know why people have some people have not seen it. I don't know why this studio is like underappreciated at times. This this studio knows how to like create a parody. Um unlike some other parody people. Like Shrek 2 is a superior sequel to the original Shrek. Like the story about an ogre um marrying a princess is still a great concept. Eddie Murphy, he was absolutely funny in this one. I liked Puss in Boots. He was funny as well, and I liked how it answered like the unanswered questions from the Shrek, the original Shrek. Like, and I like Fairy Godmother as the antagonist. She was a lot more interesting than Lord Farquaad. Um, and I like how Shrek became a human. He kind of looked like Mike Myers a bit. I mean, it's no surprise because he's voiced by Mike Myers, and it's it's a great sequel. I really enjoy it. All right. Oh boy, Shark Tale. I'm excited to talk about this. Honestly, I don't know where I would want to put this. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Shark Tale is gonna go here. Um, I'm sorry. I don't. Honestly, this movie is so hard to choose because like I've watched this movie when I was young. I've watched it a bunch of times. I'm like it. I mean, I know this is not a great like movie. I know it's so terrible. It's like it's so hard to choose. But I know how terrible it is. It people feel like that it's copying the success of Finding Nemo from Pixar. I mean, Finding Nemo is a better film anyway because it at least has a more likable protagonist than this one. This movie has terrible animation. It does not have a likable protagonist. It doesn't have a lot of heart to it, but it at least has a huge personality. Um, Will Smith does try to give it his best. This movie does try to be like Shrek because of the pop culture references and all that, but it also has racial stereotypes, and um, racial stereotypes are not funny. Um, now I do like the joke at the beginning where like the DreamWorks logo boy is fishing. Yeah, that was pretty funny to me. It was one of the first DreamWorks movies I've seen as a kid. I remember not liking it. Um, I mean it. I am never bored of watching it. Like I am always excited to watch it. But I'm just gonna put it at terrible because I know how terrible it is. I call this movie the biggest guilty pleasure ever. But yeah, we're putting Shark Tale at terrible. All right, Madagascar. This is gonna go here. Madagascar is pretty good. I'm not like I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise. I think I think the first movie is pretty good. Um, but here's my biggest issue. Um, the plot. The plot is basically, I mean, um before they get to Madagascar, everything's all great. The plot it basically sets up the plot, but then when it gets to like the climax or the epilogue, I feel like the story is like completely unfinished. I mean, we all know it's unfinished anyway because the story continues. Like it's about most of the franchise is about like how they learn to like be friends and how they learn to be even better friends and learn their past and try to get back home. But then but then they decided where their home really is. Madagascar. Well, you basically feel every character in this movie. Um, I think the humor is very funny, and I think the characters are all likable. You understand their chemistry, and you understand um like how they feel. Um, yeah. Uh, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were Rabbit. This is gonna go here. This is a great movie. Um, or actually, no, this will go here. Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were Rabbit. This is this movie is a masterpiece. I think it's better than Chicken Run by a fair amount. Um, it has a it does a very good job um at parodies and at parodying the werewolf. Instead of a wolf, it's a rabbit. Hi, Chandler. Hi. Um, Wallace as this cheese loving natured um man, absolutely funny, and Gromit as his silent sidekick, so great. It's enjoyable to watch. Go watch it if you haven't already. Stop motion is just great. Aardman nailed it with this one. Over the Hedge. This is gonna go here. Over the Hedge, it's a great movie. I don't think it's a masterpiece like Shrek is. Um, it does use a bit of the liar reveal cliche. Um, but hey, it's understandable because RJ, voiced by Bruce Willis, he basically lies for a reason because he doesn't want to get eaten by Vincent, who's that black bear. But then when his lies get revealed, or when the truth gets revealed, he grows. He starts growing to care for them before his truth gets revealed, and like you basically feel his bonding, and compare that to Flick from A Bug's Life, where he lies to where he doesn't realize that he hired circus bugs, but then he starts to lie to them that they are warrior bugs. You don't feel that as much as you do in Over the Hedge. Like Over the Hedge has a great story. It's funny. It's the characters are all likable. And the Verminator, absolutely funny. His delivery is is just so funny. Go watch Over the Hedge if you haven't already. All right. Oh, Flushed Away. Eh, it'll go here. Flushed Away is a good movie. I kind of feel terrible for it for like being a box office disappointment when it was released. It um it basically caused Aardman and DreamWorks to split up. I don't know what else to say about it, but the animation it's not really as good as like the stop motion animation in Chicken Run and Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were Rabbit. This is all computer generated. Flushed Away, it's all computer generated. Um, it's it's kind of a bit odd, but it is still funny. And I think the story about a rat getting flushed down a toilet and then learning that he enjoys being with people and growing friendships and all that. I think I think it's I think it's well written, but the animation to me is not as good. And I think the Toad as the villain is okay. He's just not as intimidating. All right. Shrek the Third. This is going down here. I am very disappointed with Shrek the Third. I don't know why DreamWorks decided to make this movie instead of like answering like the unanswered questions from like the previous two. Like like why not have a story like answer where Shrek came from, like who his parents are, like come on, why can't you do that kind of story instead of like making Shrek a king? I mean, you can have that plot line, but probably mainly focus on like the unanswered questions, like what most sequels do. This was just a boring, bland kind of sequel to the previous one. And Donkey in this one failed to make me laugh. Um, and it's the same with Puss in Boots. This movie literally failed to make me laugh. The animation, it's good, but it just did not really work for me. Oh, B movie. This is going down here. I hate B movie. I hate B movie. I don't know why DreamWorks made this one. This is literally one of the most dumbest animated movies I've ever seen in my life. It's so comfortable to watch. The climax is stupid, and a bee having a relationship with a woman. No, this movie does not speak for me. None of it is funny. It's just stupid. Oh boy, Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, this movie is going up here. Kung Fu Panda is an all-time classic. It's kind of kind of great how a movie this goofy can actually tell a very mature story. Like the dark themes it portrays, um, I think are wonderful, and um, we get to watch Poe grow as a character and understand his chemistry. Um, it's just so great, you know. It's wonderful. You go check out Kung Fu Panda. I remember seeing it in the theater, and I didn't give it as much credit as I initially did, but I really enjoy this movie. It's wonderful. All right, Madagascar: Escape to Africa. Um, this one will go here. Madagascar Madagascar: Escape to Africa is a perfect sequel to the original Madagascar. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. It's not a masterpiece. I never thought the Madagascar movies were masterpieces. Um, like I said about the original Madagascar, this movie is funny, like the first one. Um, I like how it describes Alex's backstory, where he really came from. It starts out with a very mature opening of like Alex getting kidnapped. It's kind of portrayed as like this Finding Nemo kind of thing, which is one issue I kind of have with it, but that's okay because we understand where Alex really came from. He was he came from he came from Africa and then crash landed into New York City where he became known as Alex the Lion. And then does that roar thing. Like everybody starts to love him. And then we continue the story from the first one where they're still in Madagascar. And then they fly a plane and they crash land into the savannah. And it's just kind of emotionally impactful for me because we understand every character. And the penguins here, yeah, I didn't mention the penguins. The penguins here are entertaining. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Great. Oh, Monsters versus Aliens. This is gonna go here. Monsters versus Aliens. I remember liking it as a kid, but then as I got older, that started to fade away. I don't really like this movie. It's not really a great movie. Um, a lot of the characters were a bit bland and boring and dull. Now, I'm not saying that it's a terrible movie. I didn't put it in there with Shark Tale, Sinbad, Shrek the Third, and B movie. Um, this movie is just not for me. Some of the humor it did kind of make me laugh and kind of did make me not laugh. Um, like Susan becoming this giant woman and then being inside of like the government facility. Um, it's just not that engaging. She is the most likable character in the movie. Um, but Bob and Dr. Cockroach and the Missing Link, they really aren't that likable. And the voice acting is okay. Reese Witherspoon, she's okay. Um, let's move on before I rot my brain out with this. I'm just kidding. Not really. All right. How to Train Your Dragon. This is going up here. How to Train Your Dragon is great. It's it's the perfect movie for DreamWorks. I think I believe it's my all-time favorite DreamWorks movie. Um, I've seen it in theaters, and it. It's just a very well written franchise for me. Like Hiccup meets this dragon and then befriends it. There's a reason why this movie was made. It was behind um, the It was made by the minds of Lilo and Stitch. Um, Chris Sanders directed this movie. He also directed Lilo and Stitch, which both they are great movies. I think they're masterpieces. Um, and the animation, great. All right, Shrek Forever After. This is gonna go. I'd say this will go here. It was okay. It's a huge improvement over Shrek the Third. Shrek the Third is a terrible movie. Um, Shrek Forever After, a huge improvement. It shows like how how Fiona would be like if Shrek never existed, except that some of it is confusing and some of it is is a bit weird. Um, one problem I do have with it is it's not as engaging as the first two, um, but it's more engaging than Shrek the Third. And and it's I also have the problem with like Shrek being in a place where he wouldn't exist um in 24 hours. It's just weird, and he has to rush the relationship with Fiona. It's just weird. And Fat Puss in Boots, no, reminds me of Rebel Wilson in Cats. I hate that movie. I never cared about it. But Shrek Forever After, it's an okay time. Megamind. This is going here, a masterpiece. Megamind literally is a classic, and I'm disappointed how this movie just did not click for other people around the time it came out, when another animated movie literally was out on the rise for the start of one studio. This movie plays on the superhero genre of like a good guy defeating a bad guy, and then it basically has depth and layers within like how superheroes really feel when they're being loved or given so much praise. Um, it portrays the messages of like good guys and bad guys deciding on what they really want for their lives. I love how Metro Man decides that he doesn't always want to be a superhero, and Megamind he doesn't always want to be a bad guy. It portrays it so well, and this movie's very funny as well. Megamind, Will Ferrell as Megamind is great. David Cross as Minion, he's funny as well. Like a lot of the humor in this movie is great. It's on point. Like I love how impactful it had on me. All right, Kung Fu Panda 2. Um, this is gonna go here. Kung Fu Panda 2 is the perfect sequel. It's not as good as Kung Fu Panda, but I love how very dark it is. Like it's a lot more dark than the first Kung Fu Panda movie, and it's still funny and it's still engaging and um the story about like a peak about about a panda doing kung fu, it's to me Kung Fu Panda was impactful on me, and I find it relatable because sometimes I do goof off on like soccer and all that, and sometimes I do get in trouble for that, and that's okay because I still know how to do soccer, and I still am focused on that stuff. Like this franchise is relatable, but in Kung Fu Panda 2, the villain in it, the peacock, I don't remember his name. Um, he he's he's basically more interesting than Tai Lung for me. Now Tai Lung would would be interesting for like being the dragon warrior, who desperately wanted to be the dragon warrior, but he didn't because there was like a huge dark side to him. With Shan, I think that's his name, Shan or something. I don't know. Um, in Kung Fu Panda 2, he is he hates pandas, and then he wants to kill them, and we understand his motivations. Like, this movie's so dark, it answers where Poe really came from. Um, like his mother died from Shan, and we watch Poe go through that, and we understand what's going on. All right, and I love the climax. It's up to Poe to decide, and up to Shan. So yeah. All right, Puss in Boots. Um, this is gonna go. It's gonna go. Like, probably right here. Um, Puss in Boots. It was a necessary. It was a necessary spinoff for for the Shrek franchise. Um, but I don't know. I do find it funny, and I do find it um kind of engaging, but some of it is just boring, and it's basically just letting us know that this takes place in the Shrek universe. I don't like how Shrek is not in this movie. I mean, it's understandable because this is Puss in Boots, not Shrek. Um, and his backstory is kind of dark, and I mean, the thing about animated movies, I like how dark they can be, and even for its target audience, I think dark themes should be explored so that children can see them, and as they get older, they'll understand what the messages are. And Puss in Boots, um, I like how Antonio Banderas voices him. All right, I don't have a lot to say about it, but let's move on. Madagascar 3. Um, I'd say it's pretty good. Um, but but to me, it's not really as engaging as the first two. I did find it funny, and the liar reveal plotline didn't really save the movie. Um, the reason why the liar reveal plotline worked for me with Over the Hedge is because um, we understand um, we understand how RJ is feeling. But with this one, they're lying about being circus animals, but then when they're revealed to be zoo animals, um, they leave, and then they go back to their home, which is the zoo. But then they say that the circus is their real home. That's the biggest problem I have with this movie. I think it's a good movie. I don't I don't like the epilogue. I really wish that um I really wish that they all went back to their real homes, because that's really where they belong, and people loved Alex the Lion. Am I right? But it's just hard for me to talk about Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Um this is a frustrating movie to talk about. But I'd say it's just a good movie. The penguins in this movie are entertaining. I think King Julian being in love with a bear is kind of ridiculous. But overall, it's a good movie. All right. Rise of the Guardians. I put it at terrible. I'm gonna get so much hate for this. This movie just did not really work for me. It it's not really that good. Um, I do like the messages it portrays with like or actually hold on. Maybe I'll put it up um above ants. Um no, I'll put it at okay. Um I really didn't enjoy this but hold on. I'll put it at meh or I'll put it at terrible. It's just I do like how it's like Jack Frost. Um I do like how it is Jack Frost like showing off his powers and so much more and people don't believe in him and I like how it portrays that, but this movie is not really that engaging for me. It didn't really work for me and I'm going to get so much hate for this because it's underneath Shark Tale. Shark Tale is a terrible movie that I enjoy. But Rise of the Guardians, I don't really enjoy that movie very much. It's just one of the least engaging ones for me. So yeah. All right, the Crudes. Um, this'll go. This'll go here. The Crudes. Or I find it absolutely funny. Um, like the family arguments, they're, they're all funny. Nicolas Cage is funny as well in this. Um, it this movie just literally is just funny. And some people they might not find it funny or engaging, but for me it's that engaging. Um the story about like um these these this family from a long time ago trying to escape this like huge drift or something. I think that's what they are. Um and it's not a continental drift. They want to see the sunlight, but they don't understand that if they touch the sunlight that doesn't do anything. But I like how at the end Nicolas Cage, I can't remember the character's name. I like how he tries to sacrifice his life, but he ends up making it. And that's engaging. Hey Colby. But yeah, The Crude's a good movie. Turbo. This will go here. Turbo is not a good movie. It's it's kind of like a bit like a mixture of like Cars and um it's just a mixer of Cars from Pixar. Um and the twist villain in this was way too predictable. Like we know exactly like what's going to happen because like it's kind of like with the Incredibles like so so basically Turbo meets his hero, his idol, and basically he was always the biggest winner ever. He's a good guy, but then he reveals his true colors, saying that when he loses, they'll see him. But with the Incredibles, it does it a lot better because the twist villain is not Mr. Incredible. The twist villain is Syndrome, and he's the crown jewel of it. But with the twist villain in Turbo, he basically turns into a bad guy even during the final race. Like he's never done that stuff before. So no, Turbo terrible. All right, Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Um, this is gonna go here. Mr. Peabody, or actually no, here. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. It's a good movie. It's directed by one of the same directors as The Lion King, Rob Minkoff. Um, a very good movie, but literally one of the problems I do have with it are like the timelines and the time travel stuff, and maybe the ending could have had like Mr. Peabody having Sherman call him dad or something, because I remember in the movie when he receives Sherman, he's like daddy, and then he says, "Nope, don't call me daddy. You call me Mr. Peabody." Like he could have called him dad at the end, because literally Peabody is like the father of Sherman, adopted father, and um, another problem I do have might be the relationship with Sherman um, and his like friend that's a girl. I mean, I don't understand why like the principal makes it such a huge deal. Um, but yeah, it's a good movie. It is it as good as The Lion King? No, but it's charming enough, and it's really good. How to Train Your Dragon 2. This'll go. Um, this'll go here. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is probably the weakest. Um, it's probably the weakest film out of all the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Um, Now it is good enough. Um, it's great, but it's not as good as the first one. Um, and um, it's basically the weakest out of all the How to Train Your Dragon movies. Um, but what else can I say about it? Like, I like I like how dark it is at the climax with like Hiccup's father dying. Um, Now there's a reason why he died, because he sacrificed his life just to save Hiccup from Toothless. Now Toothless, he was turning against Hiccup because he was being manipulated, and like we understand, but this movie just didn't just spoke to me the least for the whole franchise. And the animation, like most DreamWorks movies, it's great. Oh, Penguins of Penguins of Madagascar. Um, it's probably the weakest one out of the whole Madagascar franchise, because now this movie starts out right where Madagascar 3 left off at. I really wish there was a fourth Madagascar movie where they where Alex, Marty, Melman and Gloria realize where their home really is, but it doesn't matter. Penguins of Madagascar, it was entertaining enough for me. I like the emotional climax and the emotional beats. You kind of feel for them, and I like how at the beginning Private was actually a penguin from Antarctica, where like Skipper, Wolfsky, and Rico are all um they were all three of them were brothers, and basically Skipper. I love how Skipper was basically Private's father figure or something, and then Private basically proves to Skipper and everyone that he can actually save their lives, even if it means that he has to sacrifice it. I like how it portrays that, and I think it's absolutely funny how um with the with like the machine thing at the end. I like how he like has these antlers and he's like kind of a bit pink, and I love how Skipper's like, no, no, doesn't matter on outside, matters is inside. I like how it portrays that. And then in the post credit scene, they try to fix that. That's funny. Oh, home. Yeah, no. Home is going down here. Home is kind of an odd movie to talk about. I do not like this movie. I do like the Rihanna music. I think the one at the end is probably the only redeeming quality of it. Like this movie was wasn't really that engaging. Um I mean, I do think it's better than actually I'll put Home over here. It's a lot more engaging than Sinbad, Shrek the Third, and B movie. Um, but we're just spending way too much time with one of the most annoying protagonists ever. Like I hate how like the plot line starts out with like O sending a message to for like a party or something, and then they basically drop that plot line, and the story just goes nowhere. And Rihanna Rihanna voicing the girl, she was okay. And I like how like during the emotional climax she tries to look for his mother, and then the battery on her phone is very low and then dies, and she cries. I kind of feel for that, but the epilogue the epilogue is ridiculous. Um this movie is just not really that good. It's just terrible. Kung Fu Panda 3. This is going to go here. Kung Fu Panda 3, like like I love all three of the Kung Fu Panda movies. Um Kung Fu Panda 3 is the weakest one out of the 3. Excuse me. Um like I like how Po finds his father, and I like how he calls um his to both of his dads like, "Hey dads." I like how it does that. Um but sometimes it's not funny at the same time because that can be seen as a bit like a bit gay stuff like that, but at the same time it's funny because both of them are both his dads. But this is the least engaging one out of the 3. All right. Trolls. Trolls will have to go down here. Um I do not like Trolls. I don't like this movie. I understand that children will love it so much, but for me, it's just not one of my favorites. I don't like Trolls. I never cared about those two movies. I just don't like it. It's least engaging. I like the concept of like the troll dolls, um, but I don't like the story. I don't like the pop music. I hate. That's the biggest problem I have. I have the biggest problem I have with this movie is that I hate I hate all the I hate how it relies way too much on pop music by Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake, he gave it his best time with the music, but for me, the music was kind of a distraction with the plot. And the plot was dull and it's not good. The animation's okay, but just terrible. Boss Baby. Yeah, Boss Baby's going to over here. This movie is filled with so much potty humor. This movie it this movie is so awful, guys. Um I don't like the potty humor in this movie. I hate how they cast Alec Baldwin as the titular Boss Baby. This movie has no heart. It has no soul. It has nothing. Like nothing about this movie is redeeming. It's so stupid. All right. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. This is gonna go over here. I really enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I think it's a really engaging movie. If you were a fan of the books growing up like me, you're going to enjoy this one because DreamWorks actually gave a huge a huge a huge shit about this one. This is wonderful. Like I enjoy this movie a lot. And it's also funny with the potty humor. This movie shows us how potty humor really works. It's basically the spirit of the books. And I understand that the books are a bit controversial, but this movie, it's wonderful. Like go watch it. It's great. Even if you're a fan of the books, it's wonderful. All right, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. This is going up here. This movie is one of the best ones. It's a huge improvement over the second movie. The emotional beats with it are great. The animation is great. I like how Toothless meets this white dragon. Um, and I like the messages it portrays and so much more of this. There's a lot. There's a lot to love about How to Train Your Dragon. Like these movies are so impactful. This is one of the most respected franchises of all time. Like I have nothing else to say. How to Train Your Dragon is one of my favorite franchises from the studio. All right, Abominable. Yeah, well, Abominable will go here. This movie isn't really that great. Like the Yeti has like unexplained powers. Um, the side characters like the brother and the friend don't really do much to progress the plot. I especially found the brother to be absolutely annoying. I really wish he was not even in the movie at all. Um, and the twist villain in this one, um, her motivations are understandable, and I think she's a lot better than the one in Turbo. Um, she she's a bit generic. All right, Trolls World Tour. This is gonna go over here. This movie basically copies everything from Avengers Infinity War. I don't like how it does that. That's basically the plot of this movie, and so much unexplained elements with it, like the rock music. Like this movie basically relies way too much on the music that was the first movie. I never cared about Trolls. It's literally a franchise that's obviously for children. Um, like most of the time, animation is seen um, as a thing that appeals to children. No, it does not just appeal to children. Um, hold on, let me see. I'm sorry. Um, animation does not just appeal to children. It is a work of art. That's what animation really is. And I don't like how a lot of people say um that it's stuff for children. It's not. Um some animations are even for adults like South Park or Sausage Party or something like that. All right. The Croods, A New Age. I think this movie's on the same level as The Croods. So let's put it right behind it. Um, this movie was pretty good. Um, I like how we got to meet Guy's family, and and we got to see like Ape engaging with Guy a lot of times. Um, but I do think um maybe Nicolas Cage guy, I can't remember his name. He I think he was a bit overprotective like he was in the first movie. I think they didn't do his character very well in this one like the first movie, but overall this movie was engaging. All right. Spirit Untamed. No. No, I hate this movie. This is basically a rehash of the first of the first Spirit. Um, there's nothing great about Spirit Untamed. I do not care for that movie. I never loved it. Um, it it's like you're basically like 18 years too late to make a sequel to it. It's pointless. All right. All right. The Boss Baby, Family Business. This is going to go over here. I mean, really actually actually this will go here. It's slightly better than the first Boss Baby. I I never cared about the Boss Baby at all. Like I said before, it's basically a franchise full of potty humor and so much more. I mean, I with this one there was less potty humor, but it's more engaging than the first one, and it's basically less immature than the first one. Um, and they're grown ups, and then they go back to being little kids, and then they pretend that they aren't little kids. Um, they like you get what I mean. This movie doesn't really speak to me that much, but it's a huge improvement over the Boss Baby. Okay, the bad guys. Um, the bad guys will go here. I really enjoyed the bad guys. I don't think it's a masterpiece. Um, but this movie was funny and enjoyable for me and just speaks for me. And you basically take Megamind and you take Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. This is basically what the movie's inspiration of the animation was. And then you crumple it all together. Um, and then you get the bad guys. I really enjoyed this, but maybe my only problem with it could probably be it's a bit rehashed with Megamind. Um, but overall, a great movie. Even if it's like a bit, you know, um, like yeah. So that's it for my DreamWorks ranking list. Um, let me see. I could probably make some adjustments here. Um, here. So here it is right here. This is my tier list for all the DreamWorks movies. And if you like this, you can leave a like down below, comment for more videos, and um, don't forget to click the subscribe button below. And I will see you all next time. And if you're excuse me, um, and if you're interested, comment down below what your favorite DreamWorks movies are, and um, if your DreamWorks if your favorite DreamWorks movie is not up there on my list, then that's okay. Um, I would like to say this is just my list. It's not the right one. It never will be the right one. It's just my list. And you have your own list as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.